I just finished up a 3-month-long contract IT position for a local financial services company here in Ohio. And so I wanted to take some time to talk about and give a little bit of a work update and talk about how it went, what projects I worked on, and what's next, I guess, really for my career and for how I'm going to incorporate what I learned into my content and into these videos that I'm producing on YouTube. So I guess first off, to just talk about the position a little bit, I won't give too many details, but basically it was a local financial services, a company that worked in self-directed IRAs. So basically you could open up a traditional or Roth IRA with them and invest in alternative sources, alternative assets, if you will, such as gold, precious metals, real estate. That was kind of a big focus for them. So a way to invest, but not just through the traditional stocks, bonds, mutual funds, which was very interesting. And really, I actually found the position from a past coworker. So if that kind of gives you it certainly for me was a time that I realized how powerful it can be to have a good network, to be active on LinkedIn. And it was a previous coworker that saw that I was looking for a new opportunity and reached out to me and was able to help me secure the position, which I really appreciated for sure. And so I was brought on as a technology operations specialist, and really the focus was to help their current IT guy with all of the automations that they were planning out, as well as a accounting software migration. So that was the main thing I was focused on. And I'll get more into kind of the projects that I worked on as I was there as well. But I guess first to talk about, so this was contract, kind of the pros and cons of working a contract position. I mean, I got to choose kind of the hours I set. I did end up working basically 40 hours a week for a few months. But if I wanted to, I could leave a little bit earlier. So it's nice to have the flexibility as a contractor that the expectations on you is not as much as if you're a full-time employee, full-time salary employee. But obviously you don't get any of the benefits that you would receive from a company. But kind of my thinking about a contract position, especially in this stage of my career, I think it's a good move, and I'm going to continue to look for those types of opportunities just because you kind of have to be willing to jump into things without getting the full scope, without having as much time for training, and just be able to pick up things quickly, and you get to learn a lot, and I feel like a really short period of time, which I really enjoyed and I really appreciated about this opportunity, about this job. So obviously the main cons is that if you're not a W-2 salaried employee, you don't get access to the benefits, and that's something you have to consider and take into account when you're choosing some type of consulting or contract position. But the other thing is that it's nice that they're shorter term. You know that you have a certain amount of time that you're working on this contract. I think for myself, I think I'm going to go more towards the direction of smaller projects where I work with a client to determine like this is the scope of the project, whether it's automation or something with IT, some type of project, and a little bit more, even more flexible in the schedule. Like this is the work I'll deliver to you. Like I used to work in web design, and that we would pitch the client on the website, and this is what it'll have. It'll be e-commerce or whatever it'll be. And then you work on the project and you deliver it to the client, work with them as you go along, rather than where it's just going into an office and just doing the everyday tasks that whatever would come up. But I think I am going to trend in the direction of more project-focused work for sure when it comes to client work. So since this is an IT and technology channel, I figured I would start talking about some of the projects I worked on, because I definitely learned a lot of new things with this job that was really great. Used some of the older things I've worked on. So I guess first off, the first project I started on was a SharePoint and a file automation project, and we were using Python scripts, like building Python scripts to migrate data to SharePoint. They had been using a different system and they were storing a lot of things on backup drives, and we were decrypting these files using Python scripts and then using SharePoint to now upload and store the files in the correct dated folders and that kind of thing. So really a more like file storage project. And that was the first thing I worked on. And then after that, and that was kind of continued throughout my entire time at the company. But the other main thing we worked on was using make.com and creating automation flows in there between their form platform, JotForm, and their website. So I helped out in that side of things and learned a ton more about Make, which I'm definitely going to be making a lot more. Making, that's funny. I'm definitely going to be working on a lot more Make.com videos because I think it's a great platform. It's no code, but you can integrate so many apps, and it's just a really great platform, especially for learning. And then the other side of working on automation through Salesforce, I learned a lot more about Salesforce than I've ever worked on before. I've only ever used it as a ticketing system, but this I got the chance to do more of the administration. Such a huge platform, and it's so complicated, and I didn't necessarily love it. It just feels like such a bloated piece of software that's very powerful, but I feel like I would need to take more time to learn the ins and outs of it. And then really I was doing a lot of like API testing because they were moving to this new accounting software. We were using Postman, which is a software I'm gonna make some videos on for sure. It was really cool software to test out APIs and endpoints. And that was a whole new thing for me. I had not done that much API work and testing, so that was really cool to work on. And we were kind of using some of that between Make.com as well, and sending out requests, receiving them back, manipulating data. So those are all of the projects, all the main projects I worked on, among some other things as well. Overall, I'm very grateful to have had this opportunity, and I've learned a lot, and I see it as a great jumping off point to search out new clients to be able to help, and also to use it as new content for the channel to be able to produce. And it also worked out great timing wise with our big Japan trip coming up to make a little money, add to my savings, and has really been a great chance and a great little job. So what's your current job in IT? Are you enjoying it? Are you looking to move on to something else in the future? Be sure to leave a comment down below with your thoughts. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. It helps out the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.